should we do some Watch This Jerks?
Yes, I'm very curious to know about this thing on the top here. I assume you saw it, GB.
Yes. I watched the new Fletch movie starring John Hamm and John Hamm. It was not that great, I got to be honest. As a big fan of the original Fletch, it was serviceable. He was good. He did a great job as a Fletch, I guess. Like, he seemed to be doing like a good Chevy Chase impersonation, but without like that Chevy Chase persona that was so big back then, where he could just look a certain, make a look at the camera and you would laugh. John Hamm is maybe a great actor, but I don't know that he's like a Chevy Chase in the 80s level comedian. And also, like, the script isn't that great.
This is such a weird release anyway.
It's very weird. But he said, I heard all about it on Stern, and apparently it was very difficult to get the movie made. And then it came out after that he paid like half of his salary back into the movie to film like for another few days or something like that. Because to finish the movie, because they had a really hard time getting money to make it, and nobody wants to put up their own money because it's just so risky and so much money. Even like a movie like that probably cost way too much money. Way too much money.
Like $10 million minimum.
There was a great product placement though. He wants to rent a fancy car in the movie to look like he's a fancy pants. And he rents an Audi RS7, which is like a super fancy car that you can be very difficult to. He goes into like a enterprise exotic place. I don't know that you could actually rent one. Anyway, that was like the second star of the movie. It was John Hamm and the Audi RS7. That's really what I took away from the movie mostly.
On my watch list.
For free, you should check it out for sure.
Yeah, I'll add that to a watch. I think it came in maybe an hour 45 or something like that.
The time was great. The running time was great. The $20 to watch it was not. I think I paid $20. Maybe it was, I don't know. Maybe it was $7. I feel like
isn't this on just something to watch?
No, it's you have to pay like.
Yeah, I think you had to pay $20. I think like it was a really. It was
thank you.
As I did it like partly so we could talk about it on the show.
Theater at home rentals.
Yeah, and partly because I'm a big Fletch fan, and also his interview on Stern was so good. I listened to it like 2 or 3 times. I felt like I could throw him $20 and watch the movie and learn a little bit more.
That will stay on my watch list until
free.
It is at home.
It's interesting to see how he does Fletch, and how I guess it's pretty hard to do Fletch. What else we got here?
I watched Vengeance. Have you? Do you know what that is, GB?
No.
That's an indie movie. It's like I would call it, I guess, a dark comedy, written and directed by and starring BJ Novak.
Okay, from The
Office. Yeah.
So it's pretty good.
Yeah, that's a good movie that you would enjoy. That is also under 2 hours. It's pretty quick. There's a lot of in jokes about, podcast culture, which also, are funny.
Okay, cool.
But it's also a murder mystery. And it's a good murder mystery. Like, they do a good job with that aspect of it. Sometimes it's really hard to do a comedy that has a mystery element to it because one's always going to work better than the other. And I think they leaned a little bit harder into the mystery than the comedy. It's not like there's no jokes that you're going to laugh at them. It's not that kind of comedy.
Right.
But
the other kind of comedy.
The kind of comedy, like
the
how
drama,
if you watch,
drama, I think it's called.
If you watch
I recognize a joke is being told.
Yeah. That is literally 90% of every comedy out there right now.
It's kind of, yeah. Fletch is like that too.
Yeah. It's like, I understand. These are jokes in this serious situation, but they're jokes.
It's hard to write funny jokes. It just is. And in a movie situations, it's even harder. I think, I think Fletch would have been better if the jokes were better.
Yeah.
So Vengeance sounds good. 80% on Rotten Tomatoes, I see. So I can convince Mrs. Chibi to watch it. So I'm gonna. How do I watch that?
I watched it on Peacock.
Oh.
which is cheaper now than it's been in a long time.
I don't doubt that.
Yeah. I'm sure you could rent it though. probably
Okay.
for like $3.
I'll keep an eye out for that. on the
Yeah,
low.
that's a good movie. I think you would like it though. I think it's a good character study if you want to
Okay.
get highfalutin about it.
Fair
We're
enough.
looking for a good character study.
If you're looking for a good
We
character
were just
study.
talking about that the
Well,
other day.
Yeah.
No. How about the Munsters? I'm curious about the Munsters.
Who saw that?
Okay.
As a big Munsters fan from the
I also
original show,
enjoy
TV
the
show.
Munsters very much. I enjoy the black and white TV show. And when I saw that the movie was on Netflix, I'm like, I understand, going into this, I understand this is not going to be a good movie.
Because it was on
But-
Netflix like in 3 seconds after
Yeah.
it came out in the theater.
I don't think it ever
Makes
came
sense.
out.
It's,
in the
it's
Oh,
Halloween.
it didn't?
Right.
Oh, sorry.
It didn't come out in the theaters.
Right. My
Yeah.
bad.
So there was part of it was like, maybe it'll be an enjoyable bad movie. Like maybe this is something that, like Fletch Lives is an enjoyable bad movie.
We're only going to compare things to versions of Fletch.
Yeah, that's what I was.
Not too
that
many
was
to
a
choose
diss.
from.
I like Fletch Lives. I don't think it's a good movie, but I enjoy. I
Sure,
don't
it's the
hate-
RoboCop 2 of Fletch movies.
Exactly. It's the RoboCop 2. Again, maybe this Munsters movie will be on that level of bad where I can acknowledge that no, I shouldn't recommend this to anybody, but I still enjoyed it. I made it 40 minutes into the Munsters movie.
You bailed on it? You didn't? You
And-
stopped watching a movie? That's not common.
Think about how bad
Because
The
it must have been
Munsters-
insulting to the Munsters in a way that you found insulting. Maybe
it was definitely insulting to the Munsters. It was boring. Like that's the big crime, really, more than anything else, is that you have these, people in monster makeup running around, bright colors that you didn't get with the old Munsters, and they couldn't make it interesting.
Yeah.
This is a kids movie or no?
It's
PG, I
rated
think.
PG. I think it's probably more than fine for kids.
Okay.
They'll just be bored by it,
Um,
maybe.
Yeah, I mean, you may want to watch the first 10 minutes on your own just to,
Probably
right.
not. Just
Right,
watch some
right.
old
Not gonna
Munsters
do
TV
that.
shows.
But
The
I
TV
mean,
show was
it's
so
Halloween
funny.
time, so it's like, yeah, you watch a lot of Halloween movies with your kids. So
yeah, it's definitely a Halloween movie to watch with the kids. I don't know, maybe a younger child might find this to be like
they love everything.
engrossing. Yeah. Like, oh my God, because the colors are the one thing it does really well is the colors are super bright that sometimes you forget that all the backgrounds are made out of cardboard. Oh, it's so cheaply made, this movie.
Oh,
Yeah. It's a
Pass.
cheaply made movie. They put I don't know what they were thinking, but Rob Zombie,
he's a huge Munsters fan. I've
I
heard him on
know.
Stern talking about it and how he's been trying to do this for a long time. So it's weird that he fucked it up. But then
Mhm.
again, maybe he's not like a great movie maker. Maybe that's it. Anyway, what else have you watched? Speaking
I
of
did
great
watch
movies.
The Rise of the Super Pets. Is that what it's called? The Super Pets movie?
I watched it too. I don't know if that's what it's called or not.
Yeah. Did you like it?
I liked it well enough.
Mm-hmm.
You made it to the end though, unlike
I
the
did.
Munsters.
Well, I watched that with my son, and he thought it was like the greatest movie ever made. And
But that's every movie until
Both
he,
my kids
until he
liked it.
watches
It
the next
wasn't-
one.
Yeah, it was. The turtle was good.
Super Turtle.
mhm.
Who has a Super Turtle?
Merton, Flash.
M-
Oh.
Come on.
Yeah, Mervin the turtle.
Merton.
Merton. Natasha Lyonne voiced turtle.
It's very unusual for a kids movie to be bleeping out curse words.
Mm-hmm.
Sure. It's a
And
joke
the turtle.
in itself.
Yeah.
I will.
Yeah, it's a better than average kids movie about
Mhm.
superheroes pets.
Yeah.
We played the video game too because
Oh,
that's on Game Pass as well. That's not terrible. It's
That's
a
the-
on rails shooter. Like
mhm.
you're flying around as either Ace or
Crypto.
yes, and shooting things that come up on the screen. So it works. It works for this.
Yay, Super Pets.
Yep. Go Super Pets. Can't wait for Super Pets 2.
And there will be, I'm sure.
We started watching a couple of TV shows. We started watching Primal on HBO Max, which is it's like a caveman anime, basically. Have you seen
so
that?
you that when
It's
I saw
old.
that on there, I'm like, the cartoon? I
Yeah,
was
it's
surprised that
old.
you were
I guess it's a
watch-
couple of years old.
Yeah.
It's very
That's good.
violent. It's very violent, but stylish and has a heart.
Isn't it Jenny Tartovsky, right?
I didn't even attempt to say that dude's name.
I'm sure it is because he does everything.
Yeah, he's
Name's in the
quite
title.
talented. Yeah. He did
Hotel Transylvania 4.
Yes, he did.
We just
Oh.
watched that too.
He also did Samurai Jack.
Is his name in the title of that?
But really, Hotel Transylvania 4 is his
Crowning achievement.
His magnum opus.
Yeah. You know you're good on the Hotel Transylvanias when Adam Sandler doesn't even show up.
Did he do Transylvania 4? I
Who?
feel like Jenny Tartovsky. I thought
Yes.
he bailed on that. He did do it.
His
Okay.
name definitely came up on the credits.
Okay, yeah, because he created those characters as well.
Dracula.
He created Dracula.
Good. It was good.
Those
good creation.
versions of those characters. Is that better?
Annoying Dracula.
Well, it's basically it's very much his Foster's characters
Yeah.
just turned into the Hotel Transylvania, right?
He's a talented guy. Did you ever see the
absolutely.
footage? Did you ever see the footage of the Popeye movie that he started but was never released?
Yeah, I did see that.
That's good stuff too.
Well, why don't you guys watch Primal? It's good. We watched like 2 or 3 episodes. It's very good. Even we're watching it. The whole family's watching it, and they're only 22 minutes each.
Did they ever call it a caveman anime at any time?
No,
They should.
there's no
No.
talking in it because it's cavemen.
Caveman anime.
Anyway, it's good.
Get
You
outta
should watch
here.
it. We also started and finished the 3-part series on Hulu called Victoria's Secret Angels and Demons, which is about the rise and fall of Victoria's Secret. I don't know. I didn't really know about any of that shit that went on. I didn't really realize that Victoria's Secret fell out of favor and like became like not a hot brand. It used to be like they used to own the lingerie market, and then they didn't. And also Jeffrey Epstein is involved. So it's pretty cool to read about all that or to watch all about all that.
They're still
And,
around, right?
What's that?
They're still around.
They're still around, but like
Okay.
they fucking crashed and burned. And like Rihanna's lingerie company is now the hot shit.
Fenty.
Yes, they're opening up one in Roosevelt Field, I saw. Which is how you know it's hot shit. Because we got all the hot
doing
shit.
the halftime show this year.
That's also hot shit. Anyway, it's pretty interesting. It's three parts. It's you get to watch a lot of pretty women in their underwear.
I figured that was part of this
In 4K.
documentary. It would be really weird if the documentary did not have any of that.
Yes, but it's
With their
all
choice.
it's the too long didn't watch is hey, it's a company who sells women's underwear, and it's guess what? It's run by old white men, and also sexual harassment. And how about Jeffrey Epstein's involvement as well? And how come Jeffrey Epstein had power of attorney over the guy who Les Wexner from Ohio's most famous billionaire. You know that guy, Ship?
I know the name. I don't know him personally.
So he's the guy that owns Victoria's Secret and The Limited and Bed Bath & Beyond and whatever.
Yeah, all the places that are going out of business.
Exactly. Anyway, it was an entertaining documentary. What else we got here? Books? Somebody's reading books?
Oh, I read books. Guess who's reading books? Sorry.
Yep.
Go ahead, Wombat.
To add something.
A book?
Not a book, a show.
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
somebody say something.
Okay. I've been watching Supernatural on Disney Plus, Super/Natural, the animal documentary, narrated by Benedict Cumberbatch. It's really cool and totally worth your time if you're into shows about animals. They got some insane footage of animals with, the cameras that they have these days are just crazy.
There are animals in this show.
There are animals in the show. You see really cool footage of these animals doing animal things.
If you like animals,
I totally recommend it.
what's it called?
Super/Natural. Not to be confused with the CW show.
Right.
Supernatural.
That's what I thought it was at first.
Yeah. I know. That's why I had to do the slash thing. But it's really good. It's on Disney Plus. It's, in 4K. It looks fantastic.
All right. I like that. But I
Yeah,
don't watch.
especially you know, you get in the right headspace and you put that crap on.
Yeah.
It's good night. That's good night.
Yeah. We don't watch that.
Okay.
Anyway, what else?
No, come on, nerd. Tell us about reading.
Sure. I'm like, I've got like 10 pages left of Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow, this book.
I never heard of it.
It's a book of fiction,
Mhm.
and it's based around game developers, like an indie game developer. And it's got relationship in there. There's characters you can study if you want to do that.
Is it funny?
There are
I didn't
jokes,
laugh.
but you don't laugh at
I didn't
them.
laugh at it.
Right.
It's got the depression in there. It's got that going.
So it's
for
realistic.
It. What it is interesting about it is that although it's about video games and fictional video games, it's not like pandering to that, right? Like the things it says about gaming, it doesn't have like, and here's a list of gaming things like
Ready Player One, like the
right. It's not. It's a much higher level of writing
Sure.
to that. But it still has video game references that you can that you can understand what they are, and like I'm sure you can name me a video game that you think would be referenced in this book.
Pac-Man.
Pong.
Yes, I think Pong too. Definitely Pac-Man. What about another one?
Donkey Kong.
Yes.
That's what I was gonna say. I'm tapped.
Yeah. There's a whole section about giving him a tie so you don't see his dick. Is as good design. So,
It sounds funny. All right. Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow. What's that a reference to? I'll get to it tomorrow.
It's a reference to a Shakespeare quote.
I'm classy.
He's also a person who wrote books.
Nice.
It's good though. I am enjoying it.
Technically, he wrote plays.
Right, in book form.
I don't know. I mean,
On a scroll.
Yeah. I don't know. I originally thought it was going to be. Oh gosh, you guys ever read Vonnegut? His stuff.
No.
You guys should check out Vonnegut sometime. He's a really hot upcoming author.
Right. We talked about him last week or last show.
We did.
Yeah. I thought he has a short story called Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow, which is probably also a reference to the Shakespeare.
Very cool. All right.
And that'll be the last time I talk about books with you two.
I'll read some books. I haven't read any books in a while.
I haven't read a book in forever, but isn't that sad?
They're there.
Yes,
you can read them.
They're very good.
Yeah, they're great.
That books are what's for dinner.
Yes.